104.7 The Drop. You are listening to Super Sonidos. That was your all Denver drop of the day, aquí by Riaga, and we are blessed to have him in the house today. Thank you so much for joining us.
Hola, hola, hola. Thank you so much for having me.
Yes, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, for sure. So I go by Riaga. I'm from Aurora, Colorado, straight from the ACO baby. I've been doing music since I was 10 years old. Been an audio engineer, producer, singer, rapper. I do a little bit of everything, so.
Amazing. Yeah. Amazing. So obviously you're Latino. Mm-hmm. We just heard you sing in Spanish. We're going to hear it again. Mm-hmm. But how, besides you making reggaeton songs and singing in Spanish, how do you see your cultural identity showing up in your work?
Yeah, for sure. So, I'm second gen Peruvian, and also I'm Black American as well. You know what I mean? So I have a very diverse background, just growing up with, variety and just inclusivity, just knowing how to put in, when something is rock and roll, when something is Afro beats, when something is Latin, I just grew up around that my entire life. So I make sure that, each part of myself is properly presented in each song that I do. So yeah, I'm fluent with the Spanish, but it's more so like South American Spanish, mm-hmm. I'm doing hip hop, but there's still an African descent to it, you know what I mean? So it's just making sure that everything that I put forward is an accurate representation of both my mom and my dad's ancestry,
That's
so,
beautiful.
Thank you.
And that represents so many of your listeners too. I mean, we're all at some point a lot of things.
Yeah, 1,000%.
Right?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
So, how do you see Denver showing up in your work too?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Or Aurora, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, we were just talking about that. ACO, Denver, Denver adjacent, Denver metro area, if you will, I mean, everything that I've done in the city, I think it's very important for us to show and display different parts of what it means to be in the Black community of Aurora and Denver, or what it means to be in the Latin community, but even just the Middle Eastern and Asian communities in Aurora and Denver, because honestly, we're the only culture for miles in comparison to everywhere else in Colorado.
Yeah.
We were just talking off air, just in Loveland, it's 95% white people. Fort Collins is the same. Greeley is the same. Colorado Springs has a little bit more diversity, but that's so out the way.
Right.
So it's important that we do things we throw hip hop events, we do the reggaeton, we speak in Spanish, we talk in Spanish, singing, all that stuff. So in my music, I just make sure that I tell the story of Aurora and Denver in its proper context. It's not everyone is a gangster. Not everyone's a hustler. Nobody, not everyone's an athlete. What does it mean to be the everyday person from Aurora and Denver? And I try to, bring some more a general sense through the music. You can make anybody dance. You can make anybody, sing along to a song. So I try to do that with my music.
Well, speaking of that, we were talking off air how we were actually on the same bill, and that's how I heard of you.
Yeah, which is crazy. It's
Denvering
for real,
Right? But I want to know, what is your favorite performance that you've experienced so far?
Just this year or just in general?
However you want to answer that.
Oh, man, because, all time, 2 years ago, I opened for Tech 9 in front of 4,000 people.
That's amazing.
And to perform in front of a lyrical legend like that, probably one of the most technical rappers ever, in front of just, that environment, it was amazing. That was in Scottsbluff, Nebraska. Shout out DJ Coast for the plug, man. He put us all on from Denver, and we showed out, and that was my best show. But this year, I would say it would have to be Cinco de Mayo in Westwood. Mm-hmm. That's been my favorite.
Listen, Westwood is the best hit. I keep saying.
You feel me? And ever since that show, I've been adopted. So.
Right? They do that real good.
Yeah,
Your
for
community
sure.
fast.
Yeah,
I love
that
it.
part.
I love it.
Yes.
Who would you most like to collaborate with?
Man. And it's from the city, or?
It doesn't matter.
I mean, the dream collab would be with someone probably like a Jay-Z.
Oh, yeah?
Pharrell, honestly. Yeah, Jay-Z's one of my favorite rappers,
That's cool.
He's a huge reason why I got into rapping, and, keeping that entrepreneurial mindset, and be about, Black businesses, Black ownership, what it means to own your masters and stuff like that, and really study the game. So I really look up to Jay-Z in that sense. But as far as the city is concerned, though, I think you've played her before, but Moniece.
Oh, she's amazing.
Yeah, Moniece. I feel like we can make makes some fire, honestly. And she more up my alley with the reggaeton, you know what I mean? You hear Aki and then you hear some of her music. It's a lot alike, you know
Okay,
what I mean?
Moniz, if you're listening.
You feel me? So can't wait, you know?
Let's make it happen.
Let's get it popping, too.
Amazing. Okay, so you have a project coming up. We're going to listen to the song here in just a minute, but tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, for sure. So I have my debut reggaeton album called Lost Heritage. And I decided to call it that because, being in a mixed household, what happens a lot with mixed people is that the environment that you're in is what you more so identify with. Honestly, growing up, I didn't even really identify with my Latin side like that. I identify with my Black side, you know? And for years on end, when I got older, I started realizing I'm just like, yo, honestly, like I grew up in the Black community and, I experienced Black love and Black brotherhood, all that stuff. But it's a Latina that raised me, and I have just as much Latin love as I do Black love in my life, and I feel like a huge story being from the States is that once you come to America, you kind of lose sight of your culture. Like so many of us come from, Latin America to start a new life in the States. And, we don't grow up with Spanish. We don't grow up with the food. We don't grow up with the clothing. It's like anything to fit in. That's what it means to be Americanized, right? So low key, high key, honestly, like on my Latin side, I was Americanized, So although my name is Spanish and I'm proud to be Peruvian, being Peruvian is kind of like a lost heritage. And the only way that I know how to find myself in life, just growing up, just, being outside and whatnot, has always been through art, has always been through creative expression, So within this, I was just like, yo, I'm going to do reggaeton music and I'm going to get back in touch with, my Latin roots and being Peruvian, So that's what this album means to me. And it's dedicated to my abuelita, just coming to the States, trying through adversity, being a, immigrant from Peru and just growing up in Utah, starting a new life in Utah, then coming to Colorado, like that's a story within itself. So yeah, this is just a commemoration to, just my Peruvian heritage and, just finding myself again,
I love that. That's beautiful. That's like my artistic ethos too. And that's why this show even exists, is because like, who are we?
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
right.
this is at least what it sounds like.
Yeah, yeah, exactly, right? Yeah.
Amazing. Okay, so before we get into the next song, how can people find you?
Yeah, you can follow me on all social media platforms at El Rey Riaga, ELREYRIAGA. If you type in Riaga, I'm more likely to pop up. You don't know too many Riagas out here, you feel me? Especially in Colorado. So yeah, you can find me on all social media platforms, digital streaming platforms. Same thing. You type in Riaga. Aki is out right now. I got some other joints out there, so look out for Lost Heritage coming soon. Should be coming in late September, early October. So,
I can't wait.
Man,
okay.
It's gonna be a movie.
So we premiered this last week, Oahu, but I want to hear it from your lips.
Oh.
What is this song? Just open it up for us. Tell us about Oahu.
Oh man, so reggaeton. People don't understand that reggaeton is an mixed African Latino genre. It's Afro Latino, so it's Spanish lyrics and melodies, but it's African and indigenous drums and percussion, So with Oahu, I wanted to show more of the accuracy of what it means to be in a reggaeton song, and what my flair would be on it as someone who is, Americanized Latino and, have African ancestry as well. Because I'm Black American, but the ancestry comes from like Nigeria and whatnot. So it's just like getting in touch with that. Just like, what would that sound like being in the Caribbean and whatnot? And, you hear it in the beginning, it's tribal. Those are war drums that you hear basically, say you put on the war paint and get it popping. But, but yeah, I just wanted to really show that authenticity of what it means to be a reggaetonero and, where reggaeton comes from. And, the wave nowadays in Latin music is like, well, you're talking about, a city or a country. Like Ed Sheeran got Peru, The Weeknd did Hawaii. So I was just like, I'll choose Oahu and we'll have some fun with that. You know what I mean? So that's where it came from.
That's great. Well, thank you so much for being here with us today. We appreciate it so much.